Nude paintings. Who doesn't like nude paintings? This was painted from life from a art marathon that we have at the university. And as you can see here, we had some blue light that was on the figure. I just drew in the proportions, what I thought were the general proportions of the figure, and then I threw in that blue value. It is high chroma, straight out of the tube, ultramarine blue. And then I went in and just threw some color in the light shapes. So we had two different light sources, the blue light source and the regular light source. And I was just throwing in some of the colors. That's Naples yellow, perylene red, and some raw umber. And as you can see here, I'm keeping the shapes very, very simple. When painting the figure, you want to keep them as like simple shapes. What is the cylinder? What is the cone? What is the sphere? And what are those shapes in relationship to each other? So I don't have any detailed information in here. I'm not going to put any detailed information in until I feel confident of the location of various objects. So for example, here, I painted in the areola on the breast because I was confident that those proportions were accurate or relatively accurate. Then I move on and start to paint the background because I need to see what is the value of that blue in relationship to the background and what is the background color in relationship to the flesh tone. If I just paint in the whole figure, I'm going to run into some issues with colors and values because values and colors make a difference based off of their relationship to other colors and values. So I'm going to make sure that I'm going to try to nail those correctly. Okay, as you can see here, I've started to paint in the contour of various shapes and some additional background colors. You know what, I want to throw in an arm there. I'm not sure if I'm convinced I like the placement of that right arm, but I want to put something in there and then key in the hair value, which was just some umber, raw umber. And then I also did the same thing in the shadows. This is a transparent oxide yellow that I threw into the shadow portions of the lower leg and also some of the shadow portions kind of by the neck that's being cast onto her right breast. I'm starting to build up the values and I keep adding more and more color. So I might, at this point, be mixing up some very specific colors as opposed to just taking them directly off the palette and painting them in the right spot. And I want to make sure that the value is correct and the chroma is correct within the flesh tones. A lot of students tend to make their values too light. If they look at white skin, they'll just start adding white and then it ends up looking chalky and they don't know why. It's because you're putting too much white in the flesh tone. And the relationship of that white compared to a gray is too bright. The value is too bright. All right, this is the fun part. I go in and I start painting in the hand, and I don't like the hand. And so I repaint the hand, and then I don't like that hand either. And I've painted in the face, and I don't like the face. So I kind of scribble out the hand and simplify that shape because I don't want it to be a distraction. I don't want people to look at the hand, especially if it's not going to be awesome. And I don't want people to look at the face, especially if it's not going to be awesome. So I just kind of brushed those out and simplified them so that it forces people to look at the shapes that I have rendered. As you can see, I went back in and I start to put in some darker values to contour the figure and underneath the arm. And then I did some more washy brush strokes in the background to be able to solidify it. And here's the finished painting. If you don't want somebody to look somewhere, then make it a soft edge and make the shape simple. If you want people to look at a specific area, increase the contrast, increase the complexity, and the viewer's eye will be drawn to it. I hope this was a beneficial video. If not, that really sucks, and we'll catch you at the next one.